Hey guys, it's CSFan001 here, welcoming you to Fallout Cookbook Recipes, Episode 11, and the second of two remake episodes. In this episode, after successfully producing Nuka Cola in the previous video, which like I said, actually came out quite well, this time we are going to be remaking Nuka Cherry. Let me reposition a bit, there we go. So we're remaking this because it requires some Nuka Cola syrup, as well as this Nuka Cherry stuff. So I saw a special edition cherry-flavored bottle of Nuka Cola in Diamond City and wanted to bring some back. After looking everywhere, none of the vending machines I stumbled across had any. So I figured I'd throw together a cherry variant myself. It requires only 1.5 cups of water, which I've already poured into a pot, a cup of sugar, and a cup of fresh pitted cherries that have been halved. This recipe will give you +1 luck for 30 minutes. It is considered easy difficulty with 12 hours of prep, 30 minutes of cooking that serves 10 to 15, and apparently goes well with mystery meat wrapped Mirelurk. Might have to try that out at some point. So, as you can probably see from the ingredients that I have right here, guess what Bilo didn't have? That's right. Fresh cherries. I looked everywhere in the store over the course of 2 weeks and they don't have fresh cherries. I'm not even kidding. So I still don't know if this recipe is going to be right. Honestly, I really don't. So I hope it's going to be correct because I don't want to have to make the regular Nuka Cola again because it takes time, even though it's not really all that hard anymore now that I know sort of what to do. So the first step is to combine the water, the sugar, and the cherries in a medium saucepan and place over medium to high heat. We whisk until the sugar has dissolved and then bring it to a boil. Then we reduce the heat to low and simmer for 20 minutes. So we have already poured in about 1.5 cups of water. Now I'm going to be experimenting with different places in my kitchen to film this in the future because like I said, my kitchen's a little smaller here. So it's a little bit harder to film in the same way, but we'll find a way to deal with it. So I'm going to go ahead and start up the stove. We're going to pour in our approximately 1 cup of sugar. I know that that's on the metric side, that I'm sure you guys understand more than us Americans that are in Europe. I mean, those of you that are in Europe, I completely misphrased that entire statement. Oh. Get as much of that sugar out as possible. We need lots of sugar because I don't know how the cherries are going to be because they're dried cherries. They're still pitted, so I got part of it right. I don't think they need to be halved because they're so small. So we're gonna hope for the best. I don't know how this is going to come out, but I can't imagine it's going to be that bad with that much sugar, and I can't imagine anything with that much sugar is going to be that terrible. So now we are going to put this on the stove. We're going to whisk it until all the sugar has dissolved. Then we're going to bring it up to a boil. So it's going to be a little while until that happens. So I'll be back in a few minutes once we are boiling, probably like 10 minutes. Listen to that boil, guys. I got that thing heated up a lot faster than I expected. It's only been like 4 minutes. That heated up. It's so weird because my old stove in my old place took like an hour, it seemed like, to heat up. And this one heats up almost instantaneously. It's crazy. So now that that's done, now we're going to bring it down to low and let it simmer for 20 minutes. So that's a bit longer than the previous drink. So we're just going to leave it there to simmer for about 20 minutes. Now, I know that a lot of people are probably going to criticize me, oh, you can't just go out and get cherries from a Publix or something else, because that's our other sort of local chain down here. Yes, I could obviously go do that if I wanted to, but one, I am lazy, and two, I really, as strange as this may sound, this wasn't what I was originally going for, but wouldn't dried cherries be more realistic to the Fallout universe? Because chances are you're not going to have a lot of fresh produce in the Fallout universe. I mean, they can, obviously, they can have some, you see it in some of the games, but it's not going to be that common to see a lot of fresh produce, so I feel like an old thing of cherries like this that would either be dried or canned or something like that would probably be a little more realistic for the Fallout universe. So I'm going to be back here in 20 minutes once this is done simmering, so I will see you guys then. So guys, it has now been 20 minutes of simmering on this medium to low heat stove. It's looking pretty good, honestly. It's looking red enough. It smells fine. I mean, we'll see. Maybe it'll come out well. Maybe it'll actually, like I said, be a Fallout version of it. So like a more Fallout version of Nuka Cherry than regular Nuka Cherry. I don't know where I was going with that statement. Anyway, the final step for now is to strain into an airtight container and then put it in the fridge for 12 hours and up to 2 weeks. This time I will not drop it. Probably. Alright, so it's now into an airtight container, and that looks a little more like the regular Nuka-Cola than cherry. So hold on just a second, guys. So since that looks a little less cherry than I wanted, I'm going to add just a hint of red food coloring. Maybe have it look just a little bit more red colored. So now, like I said, we're just going to leave it in the fridge for 12 hours, and tomorrow we will get to try it out, and then I can finally use it on a couple of other recipes. So, see you guys then. So guys, for the final step of this recipe, we have to combine a cup of seltzer water, 5 tablespoons of Nuka Cherry syrup, 4 tablespoons of regular Nuka-Cola syrup, which is already in here, and ice, and then stir it all together. So this time I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to put in the syrup into the ice and then put the water in. I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference, but it all came out looking pretty good, so I'm confident in this one because I liked this better in the first time I did the recipe. So I'm really hoping it does still turn out to be good, although I'm assuming the cherry is probably going to taste kind of like cough syrup if you just were to drink it or something. So, hey, it didn't really fizz over this time. Well, I spoke too soon. That's actually not bad though. It didn't fizz over as much as the last time, so probably put in just a little bit too much ice, but that's entirely on me, and this is at least easy to clean up, so I'm not really worried about it this time because I can clean this quite easily. Don't worry, I washed my hands before I did this, so not getting any germs in here. And besides, I'm the only person drinking it anyway, so it's all good. So I'll be back in just a moment with you guys for the taste test. Okay guys, I'm back. I'm all set up. Now, I'm more curious as to how this is supposed to serve 10 to 15 people because there's not a lot of syrup left in there. So I don't really know what they're judging that on, but let's give this a try. Yeah, that tastes kind of like cherry soda. I gotta say, that actually tastes pretty close to cherry soda. I think it still has more flavor from the original Nuka-Cola because that one had more different fruits in it, and there's slightly less of it, but it was all fresh fruit, whereas for this I had to use dried cherries because I couldn't find normal ones, and because this would be technically probably more realistic to the Fallout universe to have dried cherries. But I mean, this tastes fine. I mean, it tastes kind of like a cherry soda, but it's more, this definitely helps with the sweetness. Like the cherries add in additional sweetness that the original didn't quite have. Yeah, I mean, it tastes pretty close to like a cherry soda with the Nuka-Cola flavoring in it, so I gotta say that once I actually made these properly, the Nuka-Cola recipes have come out very, very well, and I'm very pleased with them remaking them. So I still gotta do like Nuka-Cola Quantum someday, because that's in the book too, and I definitely want to do that one. But the next few recipes, there are at least a few more that require Nuka-Cola / Nuka Cherry syrup. The next one is an alcoholic drink. So the next few will be involving Nuka-Cola and Nuka Cherry syrup. So hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you for the next one. Hey guys, it's actually Future NCS here, and this is being recorded like more than a week after the Nuka Cherry video itself with the full recipe. But I've actually decided to tweak the recipe a little bit, or not really tweak the recipe, but I wanted to try it using only the Nuka Cherry syrup instead of the Nuka Cherry and Nuka-Cola syrup. So this was 5 tablespoons of the Nuka Cherry syrup mixed with the seltzer water and ice, but no Nuka Cola syrup. I also added a little bit of extra red food coloring because it wasn't really looking very cherry-like. I mean, this looks technically a little more like blood maybe, but regardless, I decided I would try it out this way and just see how this comes out. I have a feeling it's just going to be like really, really sugary water. You know, that honestly tastes more like cherry than the regular Nuka Cherry. I'm actually not kidding, that actually tastes more like Nuka Cherry than, or it tastes more cherry flavored than the regular Nuka Cherry. So, I mean it should because the only fruit in it is cherry and the only ingredients in this are a bunch of sugar and water and red food coloring and dried up cherry juice. But you know, that's really not that bad. It's very, very sweet, obviously. Like that, I'd say that's sweeter than the regular Nuka Cola and Nuka Cherry that you would make normally. So, if you're looking for one that has a little more cherry flavor to it and also probably a little bit more sweetness to it, this is not a terrible idea. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's really not bad. I think this is actually better than the regular Nuka Cherry, but right now I think my favorites are still the Nuka Cola Quartz and the regular Nuka Cola. So, hope you guys officially enjoyed this video, and see you guys for the next one.